The real reason Zidane returned to Real Madrid. Before the video starts, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like and share the video if you enjoy it. Real Madrid's shock exit from the Champions League to AJAX was the final knife in an utterly terrible week for Los Blancos, and Florentino Perez has responded by bringing back the man who brought the All Whites 3 successive Champions League trophies, Zinedine Zidane. The reason for Zidane to return may make little sense for him. How can he improve on 3 Champions Leagues and 1 La Liga title in 2.5 years? From Madrid's point of view, Zidane seems like Christ returning, but when you look at the deeper, wider picture, Zidane's move back there makes perfect sense for him. Florentino Perez has handed over the reins to Zizou, with reports for £300 million transfer budget and Zidane having the final say in all transfers, seemingly being part of the reason Zidane had returned. Zidane now has a perfect opportunity to rebuild the team in the way that he was unable to do last summer. But where will the overhaul start? Marcelo, despite being a regular favourite under Zidane, should be moved on this summer, with the Brazilian's vulnerabilities when playing at left-back being even more evident this season than last. £25 million could still be recouped from selling Marcelo. Toni Kroos as well has been poor, seemingly falling off a cliff and far from the player he was, though the German could still bring in around £50 million if sold. Benzema would bring in £14 million, Navas £10 million, James Rodriguez £35 million, Mateo Kovacic £40 million, and Gareth Bale maybe £60 million, which would all add to Madrid's massive transfer fund. So where do they start the rebuild? Madrid's budget will be as big as £350 million for the selling of players like Bale and Benzema funding this, so expect fireworks in the transfer market this summer. With Ramos ageing and just a year left on his contract, the search for his replacement should start now. Eder Militao and De Ligt will be the targets, but Madrid should opt for Matthijs De Ligt, who will cost around £70 million. The Dutchman is still only 19 years old, but already looks like a top-class centre-back and can be eased into the starting lineup, with the view of him becoming Madrid's main centre-back option, alongside Rafael Varane. At left-back, despite the great form of Sergio Reguilón this season, since coming into the side, Madrid should look at a better option offensively, and this could look like Real Betis' Junior Firpo. Firpo is only 22 years old and has a £43 million release clause, and is one of the best offensive left-backs in the world. Firpo is an excellent dribbler and low crosser, and can play as a left wing-back if needed. He'd offer a wide attacking threat that Madrid haven't had this season without Marcelo. In central midfield, Luka Modric could still do a job for 1 more season, though Zidane would have to look to bring in a younger, deeper lying playmaker to fill Kroos's and Modric's boots in the long run. With Eriksen's contract expiring at next summer, this would be a perfect time for Madrid to make a move for him, as they should be able to get him for around £18 million, with Daniel Levy negotiating with one arm tied behind his back in this situation. Hazard is also in the same situation, with his contract expiring next year, and at 28 years old it looks like this summer Hazard will force through an £80 to £90 million move to Real Madrid. Replacing Benzema, Madrid should look at Icardi, as the Argentine has already been sounding out a potential move away from Inter Milan, who would be happy to sell the troublesome Icardi for around £18 million this summer. How would Zidane set up his new Madrid side? Well, Zidane favoured a 4-3-3 system the majority of his time in his first spell, with the system moving into a 4-4-2 formation out of possession, though this was largely as a way of getting the best out of Ronaldo, playing him in the front two so he wasn't forced to track back with offensive fullbacks. In the 4-3-3 system, the fullbacks advance and look to put in crosses into the box to find Ronaldo, but with CR7 now at Juve, Zidane will have to adapt to the new players he will bring in. Zidane should use a 4-3-3 system, with Hazard starting wide left, but given the freedom to drift inside as he does for Chelsea. Icardi would sit high up the pitch and look to make sharp, quick runs in behind the back line. Vinicius or Asensio would start on the right-hand side. Carvajal and Firpo would be the offensive fullbacks, with Varane and Ramos the 2 centre-backs, with De Ligt being integrated into the side. The centre of midfield would see the most change, with Casemiro sitting as the anchor man, but Eriksen and Isco being the starting central midfielders in most games. Eriksen would act as a deeper lying playmaker, with his role at Tottenham changing. Eriksen has been playing deeper this season. He would excel in this position with his ability to create chances from deep positions, while Isco would be the more advanced playmaker, forcing Madrid's shape into a 4-2-3-1 when in possession. Zidane could also use Ceballos, Modric, Llorente or Valverde in these positions if he wanted a more robust midfielder ahead of Casemiro. In a 5-3-2 system, Zidane could use Varane and Ramos either side of De Ligt, who would play as a ball-playing centre-back. This would give more offensive licence to the wing-backs, Dani Carvajal and Junior Firpo. Casemiro and Eriksen would sit as deeper midfielders alongside Isco or Ceballos in a midfield three, while Hazard and Icardi would play up front together. Hazard will be the main man in Madrid's side, but unlike Ronaldo, he offers more versatility, and Zidane will look to create a side that is not just dependent on the world-class talents of one player. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and share the video if you enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.